In a world full of mass-produced tools, true craftsmanship stands out. This is a hand-forged Viking Style Axe, built not just to look the part, but to actually work hard, to cut, shape and hew wood and hold up under pressure. Over several months, I've taken this axe beyond the workbench, into the woods, out of the workshop and on to historical reenactment sites. And I have tested it through real use: felling trees, hewing logs, chopping firewood, woodworking and more. Just the way a tool like this was meant to be used. This is the ultimate long-term review, not just on how it looks, but how it lasts. My name is Rasmus from Ramani Viking Crafts and Reenactment, and I want to find out if this could be the ultimate Viking axe. I have always been really hesitant with paid partnerships on this channel. I value independence and I mostly use handmade, historically accurate, custom-made gear. But last winter, BeaverCraft Tools reached out to me. To be honest, at first I planned to decline, but they asked me to browse through their catalogue. And by then I had just broken 2 of my hewing axes and I was stuck in my house building project. And there I found a large Viking style hewing axe, hand forged with a slightly curved angle and a convex grind. Exactly my kind of tool. We made it clear, no strings attached and no future commitments. Just a tool for a review. In the end, they sent me 2 of these axes, and I've got something special planned for the second one. This is something you might want to know, so stick around till the end of the video and I will reveal this. And now, let's get into the review. First, let's go over some of the specs of this axe. The total length of the axe, including the handle, is 77 centimeters. The blade is 15 centimeters, and the height of the head is 17 centimeters. The head of the axe is forged from steel. It's a 1066 carbon with a 56 to 58 HRC. It has a convex grind type. The handle is made of ash, and the original sheath that comes with the axe from the company is made from cowhide. From this axe, I expect a hewing axe with a large head and a cutting edge, capable of chopping notches into beams, removing excess wood and shaping timber. It really should be heavy enough to fell small trees, but still manageable one-handed for sharpening poles or rough carving. And it also has to be able to handle firewood and even larger timber if needed. After all, this is a hewing axe, so let's see how it performs. You might know that I am very picky with my axes, so this is going to be interesting. Hewing is the traditional method of shaping round logs into square beams using only an axe. The process involves marking the lines and chopping notches around 30 centimeters apart, and then removing the wood between them to create a flat surface. The axe must have enough weight to cut deep notches, but also a thin profile and a long blade to leave a clean surface in the process of hewing. A well-balanced handle and a good solid heavy head weight and a really sharp edge all play a role. And then of course a slight flick with the wrist at the end to release the fibers can make a big difference. The handle length is well suited for standing on the log while cutting the notches. Simply raise the axe, let gravity take over and allow the weight of the head and the natural curve of the handle to do the work. Your hands only need to guide the angle, and there is absolutely no need to force the cut for it to bite deeply into the wood. And the exact same principle applies when clearing out the wood between the notches. When it comes to hewing the surface into a smooth, square beam, this axe is fully capable. Traditionally, one might use a longer bladed axe with a single bevel grind to avoid digging in, or even an offset handle designed specifically for hewing. But still, this tool gets the job done. It ultimately comes down to the same timeless debate. One versatile tool for many tasks, or multiple specialized tools for specific jobs. In this case, the axe here surely makes a strong argument for the former. When making the roof of my Viking house, I realised I needed a ladder. For the project, I needed to take down a small hazel tree for the main body of the structure, and I also needed to trim the edge of some of the boards, so I decided to just use the tool that was already in my hand. The small hazel trunk is no match for this axe. Just a few well-aimed swings. Again, letting the weight of the axe do most of the work, and the tree is down. Cutting it to length and sharpening the poles is like working in butter. This axe clearly comes to its right when using a two-hand grip, but it is possible to work it one-handed. But of course, for carving a spoon or something like that, I would choose a smaller axe. But for simple carving tasks around the build site, this axe surely works like a charm. When we are at historical camps during reenactment events, there is always the need for a reliable axe, for sharpening poles or hammering in pegs, and of course most importantly to chop firewood. In May I brought this axe along to see how it would handle everyday camp tasks. Any sharp axe can manage pegs and poles, but not all axes can split firewood, especially the large, gnarly pieces that are often provided during these events. And to keep a steady, low-smoke cooking fire, you need to break that wood down into smaller, manageable pieces. Over the course of a few weeks, the axe was passed from hand to hand, used wherever work was needed. Most of the time it went into firewood, and during that period, it surely led a rough life. Left outdoors in all kinds of weather, driven deep into stubborn chopping blocks, swung into the ground on the occasional miss, worked through gritty bark and pounded against both iron and wooden tent pegs. And this is how it looks now. Although the axe has begun to take on a weathered and well-seasoned appearance, there's still no sign of rust at all, and the handle is in perfect condition. So the tool came through it all without a complaint, and it still feels eager for more work. The Vikings relied on the forest for materials to build everything from longboats to great wooden halls. So the ultimate test for this axe was to go into the forest and fell a large tree. So I headed into a friend's forest where we selected a few trees suitable for future use in my Viking house project. I first put the axe to work on a birch tree. The actual felling took less than 5 minutes, with most of the time spent afterwards cutting the tree into smaller sections for building materials and crafts projects. I was especially impressed on how well the axe cleaned up the end grain and left a smooth and flat surface. For a soft wood like this birch here, it's clear to me that no saw could ever match the performance of this axe. The oak tree was slightly larger and demanded more from the forester and the tool. Even so, the tree came down in around 15 minutes with relative ease. And I just have to say, there is something special about working with sharp steel on oak. No wonder that the Vikings valued oak so highly for its strength and its durability. Processing the trees into usable building materials and smaller portable pieces was a genuine pleasure, and the axe proved remarkably versatile. For felling and splitting, a broad blade is ideal, while for cutting and carving you benefit from a more narrow edge. This strikes a well-balanced middle ground, and it handles both of the tasks efficiently. The solid weight of the head itself made it reliable for hammering wedges into the trunks while splitting them into boards. So as you've seen, this axe meets my expectations. One issue I've had with hand-forged replicate axes and tools is that they're either too valuable or too specialized. I really get attached to them, and then I avoid using them for rougher tasks like chopping firewood where small debris can damage the edge. But this axe is different. It's an affordable, hand-forged tool that handles everything, from heavy-duty projects to finer woodworking. It's not necessarily better than any of my other Viking axes, but it surely performs well across the board. Instead of carrying a whole set of tools, it's good to have just one tool that can do it all. And I would confidently bring this tool onto historical building sites, bushcraft trips or camp life. I suppose you know me wrong if you think I wouldn't be bringing a whole set of tools anyway. The long, slightly curved handle supports both two-hand work but also one-handed work, and the forged surface gives it a rugged charm that matches its power. There is two very small downsides. They are from a reenactment accuracy perspective or point of view. And if you want to know about that, I have left that in the description below. I would highly recommend this axe. Although I was initially skeptical, I have really come to appreciate this tool. While I would usually suggest always getting handcrafted Viking tool replicas made, costume made for you by local reenactment blacksmiths, that is just not always an option. And I think that is where BeaverCraft tools, and this axe in particular, comes in. I really believe that this is a great alternative. It's affordable, it's readily available, it's well packaged, and it arrives sharp and with a sturdy leather sheath for protection. I did make an upgrade to my sheath though. I made one out of oak, just like the Vikings would have done to protect their sharp blades. And I must admit that I have grown quite attached to this axe. But as you might remember from the beginning of the video, BeaverCraft Tools actually sent me 2 axes like this. And since you're likely also interested in Viking tools and axes, I will be giving the second one away, brand new and with the original sheath. To enter the competition, simply subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below on this video and let me know how you would like to use and what you would do with this Viking axe. And by November 1st, I will pick a lucky winner. I will put a link in the description below to BeaverCraft's webpage and also to the specific axe, the AX5 felling and hewing axe that we have been seeing in this video. I can offer you no discounts or promo codes or anything like that, but I can vouch for the quality, for their friendly customer support and their high standards. This axe here will go to a new home soon, and maybe it will be you. And this axe here will follow me along on future projects. Check them out, and I will see you soon for another video here on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment below, enter the competition, share it with your friends, and if you want to support the channel even further, consider heading over to Patreon and check that out. Stay safe.